Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you the best way to make money by catching spotted bass and the best setup that I use to catch bass on almost every reel and to catch bass every time that are over $100. Okay, so let's get started with the video. Okay guys, so we're at the shop and this is going to help you get your setup. So first off, a much easier way to catch bass is using a spinning rod. And any of these will work, except that the bigger your line weight could be, the bigger fish you have a chance of catching. So the better rod you have, the better fish that you have the ability to catch. So at level 3, you can start catching bass efficiently, but as I am level 13, I have this in my backpack, but I'm not using it. I'm using the Featherlight 7-foot. So I am not that high of a level. I'm level 13, which is a lot higher than others, but not extremely high up. So I just use the Featherlight 7-foot. It's 3,500 and it works perfectly for me to catch a $160 bass. Alright, and then the rod we're going to use, sorry, the reel we're going to use is, I cannot remember which one I have. I think I'm using the Accretion Hunter 4000. This really, you can buy this one if you're level 12, but it really depends what you're comboing it with your rod. So if you have a smaller rod, you're of course going to get a smaller reel. Lines do not really matter because, like I said, it goes with your rod. You're not going to have a 12-pound test for a 3-pound line weight rod. So what you're going to want is just one that matches. I have the Braid .007, so it has an 8-pound test. And then for your terminal tackle, we're not going to fool with this because we don't need bobbers or hooks. What you want to get is lures. Come all the way down to bass jigs. And here are your bass jigs. So these are going to be catching your bass. I am using the 1/3. Just that it's the biggest one that I have on deck. Just so I can catch bigger bass with it. But whatever level you are, you can start getting these when you're level 3. But usually it's going to be level 10. So if you're level 10, you can only get the 1/8, then just get it. But it depends because the 1/8 is going to be smaller than the 1/3. For bass, you can also use soft baits and crankbaits and poppers and walkers and stuff like that. And you can also use not common baits, you can use fresh baits, you can use shiners and minnows. But like I said, the best one, in my personal opinion, to catch the best bass is the 1/3. I use the green satellite one, but it's whatever you want. And then that's gonna be it. So your setup is gonna be looking like this: a spinner rod of your choice, a reel of your choice, a line of your choice, and then any bass jig. I'm using the 1/3 though. Okay, now to catch these crazy bass, you're gonna spawn right here at Home Sweet Home. Check the time, make sure it's peak. So this is pretty peak. You can also go back here if you really want that high, but it's practically the same. You can, if you have an advanced license, you can try doing night fishing, but it never works for me. I usually catch them at the best times during day. And now what you're gonna do is come over to this bridge, and I like to sit right here, right in this vicinity, kind of right near this broken plank, and kind of near this little nature what is it called? Not lily pads, whatever you call this stuff, seaweed. So see my buoy over here? I'll give you the mark. All right, the mark is 110.43. And you don't have to bullseye the mark, but you can just get around it right in this area, kind of near these lily pads, except far out there. Alright, so now I'm going to cast it, try to get it perfect. Except like I said, it doesn't have to be on the mark, it can just be in the vicinity. And for this demonstration, I'm just going to put my drag in the middle. And depending on your rod and your reel combo, you kind of want it to be in like the middle. So not too fast, not too slow. But it depends. Like if your rod, it might work on one tick, it might work on two or up to three. I'm using two for my rod. So to catch these bass, what you're going to do is a stop and go method. I have seen a lot of people tell you, reel it in 5, wait 2 seconds, reel it in 5, wait 2 seconds. That may work, but I can teach you a really good method. What you are going to do is, like I said, have it on whichever one works best for you. Gonna reel it in, and if you look in the top corner, wait till that fish goes halfway, stop. Wait till that fish goes halfway, stop. Wait for that fish to go halfway, stop. Wait for that fish to go halfway, stop. There we go. We're cooked. See, just like that on my first reel of the demonstration, not even 20 feet out, we already caught a bass. Look at this monster, $133. That's not the best we've done, but that is pretty decent. Alright, and there you go. So that's gonna help you. I'm gonna catch a little bit more fish on camera just so you can see how efficient it works. But if you would like to leave, you can. Make sure to subscribe, comment any other suggestions for other people, and like the video.